So I like to share old movies on my channel because I guess I grew up watching them, like my parents were in their 40s when they had me, and I just grew up watching old movies, like I suppose old movies like are familiar to me and they're comforting to me, and I love history. I'm a big history buff, so I tend to like gravitate, and I always have my whole life. I gravitate towards anything old fashioned. Like I remember when I was about 12, I went through. This is probably like the tism coming out. My daughter's always telling me it's the tism, mum. But when I was like 12, I went through this whole phase where I used to think, oh, I wish I lived in England, and I wish like I'd lived in the 1800s, and I was just like really obsessed with like the 1800s. And I suppose I grew up reading like classical books, and I don't know, like I've always just gravitated towards stuff in the past, old fashioned stuff. And I remember when I was a kid, like they used to have an Abbott and Costello movie on every Saturday, and I used to sit down and watch them with my dad. I love Abbott and Costello, and Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, another great comedy duo. Love them. Apparently Jerry Lewis wasn't that nice in real life. I watched a documentary on him, and so that was really disappointing to hear because he was just so funny, and yeah, like one of my favorites. But yeah, and then like after that, then they would have an Elvis movie. Maybe they had two movies back to back. I can't remember, but they went through the cycles. They had Abbott and Costello, then they had Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and when they ran out of those movies, then they had an Elvis movie every weekend for ages. Um, so like that was, I guess, something nice that reminds me of my childhood, where I would sit down and watch afternoon movie with my dad on the weekend. Another comedy classic that I love was Get Smart. I remember when I was a little kid, probably about 8 or so, Get Smart used to be on TV, I think every afternoon or in the evening, and I'd sit down and watch that with my dad. I loved Get Smart. When I was younger, I wanted to be not a comedian. I wouldn't want to be a stand-up comedian. I don't think I'd be able to come up with any jokes or not enough jokes. But I wanted to get into comedy. I wanted to do comedy acting because I've always loved comedy. I love to laugh, and I think there's nothing better in the world than making people laugh. So yeah, I gravitate more towards that. But so that's why I put old movies on my channel, because I like to share them with other people. Um, like I'm living in the past, whatever, who cares? But anyway, last week I shared a movie which was one of Marilyn Monroe's early talking roles, and I'm a massive Marilyn Monroe fan. I've always been a Marilyn Monroe fan from the time I was a small child, and Marilyn Monroe is the reason why I normally have blonde hair. My hair is brown at the moment and grey. I'm going to the hairdressers next week. I was very sick last year and I couldn't get to the hairdressers, so I've had to just make do with my natural colour. But normally I'm blonde because of Marilyn Monroe. She was my favourite, and I thought blonde was beautiful, so I dyed my hair blonde. But anyway, I shared this movie. It's one of her early speaking roles, and I had a Marilyn Monroe nightgown that I bought from Shein, and I thought it was really cute. And someone told me that I looked inappropriate, and they said, "Are you advertising yourself or the movie?" And I'm just like, so ridiculous. Like, why do we shame women? Like, you couldn't see anything. Like, come on, like, what do they want me to do? Like, put a blanket over my head, so that you can't see anything? Come on, it's not the 1800s anymore. But anyway, I know, it's just silly, isn't it, really? Like, as if women don't have it hard enough without another woman telling me I basically look like a whore. Oh, it started recording again. So, like, look, I'm wearing some little gay toads and frogs today, so I'm waiting for someone to tell me that's inappropriate too, so, But, yeah, I don't know, like, I don't really care. I just thought it was weird, like, I remember one time my sister called me a slut because I was wearing fishnet stockings. Like, I don't know, it's just weird, isn't it? Like, everyone's got a different opinion of what's appropriate and what's inappropriate, you know? Like, because my sister would never, ever, ever, ever wear fishnet stockings to save her life. But, I mean, I used to do burlesque dancing, so fishnet stockings, big whoop, you know? But then, oh, that's inappropriate. Like, really? I don't know. Like, it's funny because I used to always dress really modestly because of the way I was raised. Like, I was raised with Christian values, so I would never, like, even wearing short shorts or anything. And I've been a chubby girl my whole life, so always dressed pretty modestly. But you know, I've sort of broken out of that a bit the last few years. Like, everyone online, sort of, women don't really dress that modestly anymore. You know, you see women on Instagram getting ready and they've got their bra and their undies on and they're like, get ready with me. And, like, you can't see anything, you know, so whatever, I don't care. Like, I might just present this week's video with a blanket over my head so I don't offend anybody.